At the very least, it's a socially unacceptable act. At the very most, it is a socially unacceptable act that has life-changing and life-ending consequences to those committing the act and to innocent people around them. Driving while intoxicated carries stiff penalties, and the city of Bryan is looking to get the word out about how that act can affect lives. The latest part in their series, The Cost of DWI, was recently released on the city website, including a number of interviews, including with Jeff Scheffelbein, who helped found the carpool service at Texas A&M. That was after a run-in with the law while he was here at school.
And as a freshman, I was probably guilty of thinking I was invincible, and that included being pretty reckless with the way I spent my nights and weekends. And so kind of got progressively worse. The more times I got away with either drinking too much or drinking and driving, the more I thought I was invincible. When I started my sophomore year, this would have been the fall of 1997, I was probably at my worst stage I had ever been at for partying. And on October 23rd of 1997, I was driving through town on my way to Taco Cabana after 2 a.m. and was speeding down Texas Avenue. I was intoxicated and pulled over. And there in the parking lot of Taco Cabana, I actually was arrested for DWI. I can remember the police officer asked me, is something going on tonight? And I said, yes, sir, I'm drunk and you should probably take me to jail. It was one of those things where I knew I was guilty. It was time to face it, and it was a gift from God. Part of the punishment, obviously, is thousands of dollars in fines and fees, meetings, not having a license for over a year. And on November 11th of 1998, I was required to go to a Mothers Against Drunk Driving Victim Impact Panel, and that was here in Bryan. My friend dropped me off. I didn't have a license, and I was a little reluctant to go, knowing that I hadn't been part of any sort of an accident. But like everything else, I went in and opened up my mind and fully participated. This mother was speaking about the death of her daughter, who was a local here in town and had been hit when she was walking down the road after a car broke down. She'd been hit by a drunk driver and killed. Very powerful story, very amazing woman. And as the picture that the mother sent around came to me, I held it. The picture looked just like a friend of mine from high school. It looked like a lot of people I knew. And I remember that moment was an epiphany moment, and I call it a gift from God.
And Ken Smith is with the city of Bryan. He is one of their web developers, one of many people who has been working on this project. I know City of Bryan and Bryan PD partnering up on it. What's kind of the genesis of this project?
Well, the genesis of this project, we really came out of wanting to do something a little more than just your standard public service announcement. Officer Kelly McKeithen at the Bryan PD and Ryan Stout, our videographer with the city, and I got together and we said, how can we do something more? How can we do something that would have a longer shelf life, something that would not be just a little quick hit something? We wanted to tell stories in a way that really creates an impact, and something, trying to do something that would really hit home with people in more of a long-form narrative journalism type of way.
Right, and so BryanTX.gov, it's right front and center on that page. You can find it very easily right now. The first part of it, I guess, came out about a year ago. Second part just now coming out. You got videos, you got written words, you got pop-up statistics even as part of this.
We do. We've tried to put this as a true multimedia immersive experience. Narrative, written words, videos, photo galleries from the different people who we have interviewed. We've interviewed victims. That was our first year's project, which launched last March. This year we wanted to kind of do the flip side and look at how it might affect other people who have been impacted, as you saw from the clip with Jeff, how he made a positive impact on, with his life despite having a DWI.
Right, and there are some folks from out of town who are interviewed as part of this project, but it does have a very local feel and a local significance to it.
Yes, the people may be out of towners now, but everyone has a connection locally to Bryan or College Station or to Texas A&M. Most of them are Aggies, but we interviewed, a College Station police officer and other people. So I mean, everybody, it is a local thing. We wanted to do something that was local. States and national campaigns have come about on this kind of issue, but we've never seen something that was actually done at a municipal level, and that's something where we said, we can break some new ground here.
So you, as a person who's got a pretty significant background in web design, for those who don't know, Ken worked for the Washington Post for a little while. You've worked on campaign stuff. You've done big projects. You talk about impact. How has this impacted you, somebody who has dealt with big stories before on a journalistic level?
Well, basically, this is the first time that I've ever done a project or interviews. We wanted to do a 60-minute style type of sit-down interviews, and in every single interview that I was a part of, I cried. And that, to me, I mean, that has impact. And we wanted to make sure that other people can see this. They can get that same emotion. They can feel the heartbreak, and they can, feel what it's like to go through this. And I've been through a lot of other projects and things, but this is one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done in my life.
And potential for future portions of this going forward?
Potential for future segments. We've hit it from a lot of different angles. We want to see where it might go from here. If anybody locally or has a local connection, has a story about a DWI, or has something that they would like to tell us, please contact Officer McKeithen or the communications department at the City of Bryan, and it's on our website right now, www.bryantx.gov/DWI.
Right. Ken, thank you very much for the time, and obviously an eye-opening project that you and others have been a part of. Thank you very much for doing that. Very much appreciate you, sir.